This nibble originally aired on RSBANDB Update, episode 797, The Warden of RuneScape. Enjoy. Any game in this day and age always has an interesting monetization model, whether, be something like Overwatch or Fortnite or, pick any game on the shelf. And RuneScape is no exception to this because, we often have cases of, there's a financial report released or there's some sort of news report about loot boxes, even if it's not touching on RuneScape, and I need to underscore that, or even just, some kind of microtransaction update in our game, whether it be the purchase out for a time-limited event or a new treasure hunter promo. And players are always going to question if it's too much. And this is actually a really interesting question here. How do you get that right balance between microtransactions and not? How do you strike that balance?
Well, I'll give a little kind of preamble here. I've been fortunate to join the game industry, and I've got to try and define a lot of different business models in the game. So when I got started, it was all about the premium box model, right? Making console games. You go to the store, you pay $59.99, boom, 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 right? And at that time, the extended revenue also came in the form of, it's like, this was kind of like some of the emergence of almost like a live game model, if you think about it. And yeah, it started off with a commercial perspective, but if you look like a game of Mass Effect, and this is pretty much the same for any console game, most of the revenue is gathered in the first 60 to 90 days on a console game. And that's where it's kind of like this hockey stick look when you look at the data, right? Now, anything beyond that, it's kind of like all the activity falls off, the income for the game falls off. It's like you're done, you're spent, you're done. Move on to the next game. So that started countering it with premium DLC, right? And then everyone started freaking about DLC. You're trying to get more money in the game. You're carving part of the game out just so you can commercialize it. And I think for some companies that was the case, but for the bulk of the game studios, they were trying to actually, we want to change the shape of the hockey stick. We want to change the shape of engagement. We can put this premium DLC out. It's like the bigger publishers, the Activisions and EAs and so on would do this roughly about every quarter, or you do 2 or 3 a year. And that kind of involved in things like not the battle pass, the online pass, and it's kind of like the subscription buy now, and you get all these different elements.
Right.
And then a couple of years go by, we also now start venturing into the free to play world. And the economics for free to play to really work is based off of microtransactions, right? And then you've got some games that have subscription models and additional things to monetize and so on, right? The reason why we have all these different avenues is that it costs more to make a game than anybody can possibly imagine. And again, there is a cost exercise in here. It's hard to like. Do we need to ask for hundreds of dollars up front for all the economics to make sense for a game? No, that it just doesn't work that way. People don't have that.
People don't want to spend that on a game.
That's right. And then also on the free to play side of things, the economics, you need a massive volume of player. You need like 5 million, 10 million DAU or MAU, to really have a sustainable, healthy, economically positive
monthly average users, I'm guessing.
Yeah, monthly average users. Sorry about that. And it's like, so there's a set of economics that work for that, and not everybody can be the Fortnites of the world or the CS:GOs of the world and so on, right? And so this is one of the reasons why we kind of look at like, okay, we got to try and do something here to kind of make it all work, and we want to keep making content. And then the other part of the story is this content period of content delivery, right? When we were trying to figure out the live game model and change the shape of the hockey stick and the engagement perspective, this is where it's like, oh, okay, well, maybe we do expansions, maybe we do blah, 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 and so on. So I think in past streams we talked about that subscription alone isn't just everything that we need to make a healthy game, right? And so what we try and do in the backside is, we're not in the form of just trying to gouge. Like, I'm not looking at how do I get another $2 or £3 out of someone. That's not what we do. What we look at is we look at the averages and the means and where we lie against industry benchmarks, and we fall a line in those industry benchmarks. And we look at it ourselves, and we try not to develop mechanics that would imbalance us in some way. And maybe we haven't done good on some of them, but I would say we're not trying to go in that direction. Sometimes we just make mistakes, or the model was incorrect, or something is broken about it.
Or it could be the advertising, maybe.
Or timing, and sometimes these things just don't work. Like, and that's why we've also upped our game on our experiments in what we're doing. But we're doing that, right? So it's not all about Treasure Hunter at the end of the day. The things that we said we are changing about Treasure Hunter, right, is like, I don't want it to be a loot box, flat out. I just don't want it to be a loot box, right? I want the blind chance aspect to not be there. That's not what we want to do as a game, right?
And this is something I was actually going to ask at the later on in this segment, and I'm not going to ask for a timeline on this because I don't think it's realistic. But can you commit to removing loot boxes, or at least the chance-based mechanics from RuneScape microtransactions?
Yeah, I want to remove the blind chance aspect of it. I want it to be transparent. I want the odds, if we have odds even, right? And I don't even know if we'll stick with us as a content plan in the long term. We might actually find other experiments that are actually better.
You can find full episodes of RSBANDB Update right here on this YouTube channel. If you found this video useful or just enjoyed it, like and subscribe, or leave a comment.